Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Phase 2 of the ANZ Open Division. Joined by me this evening, we've got a new caster, Mr. Cub T. How are you doing?
I'm great. Winters, how are you going?
Mate, I'm doing fantastic. I've been psyched for Open Div for a couple of weeks now. Got a little bit of a taste bud tingling last night with that Premier Div action. But tonight is all of ANZ's up-and-coming finest, Cubby.
I'm looking forward to tonight just to see how these teams are different from last season. Like, do we have any roster swaps? Who's playing on what team now? Yeah, I'm just really excited.
Well, there's all sorts of interesting shenanigans happening in the ANZ Open Division, just as usual. Nothing terribly out there, but there's a couple of new teams that we've got in the roster. So we've got 10 teams up for tonight. And speaking of 10 of those teams, Cubby, 4 of them have the opportunity to slide right on into that Premier Division, if they're lucky enough.
Yeah, so the top 4 teams of this the Swiss format tonight will go into the single element bracket tomorrow night. So this is very exciting for our teams that they get an opportunity to actually get into to take that spot that was vacated by Downfall.
Yep. It's an exciting night for Open Div. So this is normally something that we see towards the end of a phase in terms of like a relegation or a promotion series. So quite exciting stuff. We've got 10 teams that are all keen and chafing at the bit to get their games underway. But tonight, our first game on the stream is going to be Capital versus Wolfpack. So no changes to either of those rosters as far as I'm aware right now. But going to be interesting just in terms of skill level. We've seen both of those teams scrimming quite a bit over the past couple of weeks and months. So going to be interesting to see what they can bring.
I feel in relation to both of these teams, I feel like they're both at a skill level where they could get into that top 4 to make it into the bracket tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. So look, hopefully we'll see one of these two kick straight into game 1. So, Cubby, BOE is our map of choice right now. What are we expecting to see as a first ban? I'm going to go straight out of the gate without even letting you answer that one and go with a Genji.
Well, I was thinking either maybe Garrosh, maybe Vala, or Malfurion. Just depends on what they put their priorities on, I guess.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, if Capital's shenanigans in the last phase are anything to go by, mate, we may see another triple tank comp coming out. So Garrosh could be a priority right there. That's definitely a possibility.
So we can expect some memes. Is that what you're saying? And the Wolfpack do ban Garrosh.
We get no memes tonight with the triple tank Garrosh meta. Unfortunately, that takes all the fun out of life for me. But we'll open us up to probably a very standard meta draft. Boring. No, it should be interesting. So look, I'm expecting to see a Hanzo potentially or a Vala. We definitely want to see somebody with a lot of that PvE damage coming out. What do you think we're going to get?
Well, I want to see the Hanzo as well. And, we've got the other brother just banned there. But Hanzo, even though he has been nerfed, 7.5 auto attack range down to 6.5, you take 1 off that, that's still big. So people are saying he's nerfed, but I still think we're going to see a lot of him tonight.
Oh, he's definitely still viable, especially in terms of being able to chunk down that Immortal's health with that W build. We've seen it in the most recent mid-season brawls. We see a little bit of a variation to the standard Hanzo combo where they take the Q at level 4 instead of the W. But look, it's definitely a viable solution here for first pick. Just going to be interesting to see whether or not Capital want to pick that up or whether or not Wolfpack are going to just sort of sleep that one on through.
Another interesting combination we could see. Oriole has been sneaking back into the meta. So maybe we'll see a Vala Oriole.
I think Vala Oriole is a solid choice.
Picked up Sonya, first pick for Wolfpack. I can see it. I can see it. She's a very strong solo laner at the moment.
Absolutely, strong solo laner there, Cub. Ability for self-sustain and high health pool. Not really susceptible to ganks, especially once she gets that spear level up. Allows her to just escape that little bit easier instead of using it for an engage. But quite difficult to take her down in the solo lane unless you're very adept at your Malthaels or your Blaze and that type of person. And there we go. Hanzo Malfurion picked up first for Capital. So strong picks.
Maybe we are going to see a very, very meta draft this game.
Oh, look, I wouldn't put it past these two teams. Like I said, they've been scrimming quite a bit. They've been playing together for quite some time now. So no doubt they've been seeking some coaching throughout the community, hopefully from some of the Premier teams. I don't know who their connections might be, but look, suffice it to say that they're going with a safer draft by the looks of this straight out of the gate. Obviously that Genji ban, they don't want Genji diving into the back line. So that sort of gave me a bit of an inkling as to whether or not they're going to pick up some of those squishy heroes. But we've got Wolfpack picking up that Sonya first. So going to be interesting to see whether or not they move into a healer straight away or allow Capital that chance to ban a healer away.
Well, I think at the moment, just because every other support than Malfurion is quite weak, it's worth maybe leaving your support till later so you can prioritize other heroes.
Oh, there we go. Locked in the ETC and the Uther. So the Holy Cow combo. Looks like we might get a Mosh Divine Shield. Just really incumbent on who they want to pick up as their DPS characters in that next period. So ban coming out now for Capital. What do you think we're going to see there? I'm going to go with maybe a Tychus.
Tychus or maybe Vala?
Yeah, Vala would be a good ban. They don't have that DPS shred for the Immortals. You know what would even be a more cheeky ban for the ANZ region? Maybe an Artanis. As ridiculous as it sounds, he does amazingly at chunking down those Immortals and their health. But probably a more meta pick would be something like a Malthael. So going to be interesting to see. So
I don't know if we'll see an Artanis just because, they already have Sonya and ETC. So it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't see an Artanis ban. But, I mean, you did say, was it Capital that did a triple tank comp last phase?
Yeah, they did indeed. So it wouldn't be all that surprising. Sorry, ladies and gents, we were talking the teams around the wrong way there. I do apologise. We've got Capital on the right-hand side of the screen and Wolfpack on the left. So we'll carry on. So the triple tank meta could still be alive here, Cubby.
Mm-hmm.
But they ban out the Cassia.
I would think it would most probably be just so that Hanzo doesn't have to deal with the blinds. If that's going to be your primary damage dealer, to remove a hero that can blind you like that. I can understand the ban behind that, the reasoning.
Absolutely. And look, having Capital pick up the ETC and the Uther already, we're not going to see something with the likes of Johanna or Lili unless we're really going the sweaty 3-tank meta, which, I think would be detrimental into this comp straight away. So we need to see some damage coming out that can take that Immortal down in quick order. So Capital's got their chance to lock that in now.
And then Capital taking Blaze off the table for Wolfpack. Blaze a great solo laner as well, so that's very understandable. One of my favorite heroes to one-trick in Hero Leagues.
Oh, well, you're talking to the Hanzo Li Ming one-trick here, so I know all about that. Blaze, very, very solid ban there. But we're going to go to the Dahaka, so get the global pressure coming in from Wolfpack. And a Medivh. Now, that is something that I'm quite interested to see how they put to use. Are we going to see some really capable portals put down and some AoE shielding? Who knows?
And I mean, are we going to see any ley lines into Dragon Arrow? I mean, that's another combo we could see. Ley line into a root. These kind of combos that they can come up with.
Well, they've got a lot of lockdown there, haven't they? So if they go ley line into a root, into a Dahaka, that's, one or two heroes that are easily gone and stun locked and dead, into that Dragon Arrow. So each one of these heroes has the ability to severely incapacitate the other team, and Uther at the moment really has the only answer for that with that Divine Shield.
Definitely, and I mean, Uther doesn't really pick up a lot of healing until 16 when he picks up Benediction, so the early game, I think the early team fights are going to be a little bit harder for Capital just because they're not going to have as much healing power. But it's going to be interesting to see who their DPS is.
Jaina. All right. Now that changes things up considerably there, Cub. Jaina with the absolute crazy burst at the moment, and since we've moved away from that double support comp, we've seen Jaina rise through the ranks of HGC once again to take the seat at the icy throne at the top of majors. And Samuro.
Yeah, Jaina was very popular at Mid-Season Brawl. I was surprised to see just how prevalent she was.
I don't think Team Dignitas's Poik played any other hero. I think there for the side of Wolfpack, so rounding out their comp with a single tank, almost a double support with that Medivh and Malfurion. Cub, gonna be an interesting draft. Who are you putting your money on if you were a betting man?
You know what?
Bet or endorse betting.
For myself, I love a bunning stag, so I'm gonna have to go with Wolfpack. I love the Medivh and the Malfurion. Just giving you that kind of extra bit of sustain with the Force of Will. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to be controversial, and I'm going to go with my boys on Capital, purely because I want to see what they can bring with the pain of Samuro. So let's find out, ladies and gents, as we crack on into game number 1 of the evening. Wolfpack versus Capital, and on
the battle begins in.
And the geezer, my boy Chen. Nah, he's on Hanzo.
And then on Team Capital, representing the red team, we have Ultimo on Uther, Aureus on Sonya, B-Fei on Samuro, Totems on Jaina, and Chiron on ETC. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, and no sneaky business happening here. No cheeky Chinese bush meta this evening, Cub. We're just going to go for some basic W stacks for the Hanzo, picking up the Serrated Arrows talent. Sorry, Simple Geometry at level 1. But Medivh was up in that top lane trying to give Sonya a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, just in there, just having a look up there, trying to give them sight just to make sure that, you know, there's no shenanigans going on. Sonya isn't going to get ganked.
Absolutely, and a very slow start here for ANZ. I'm a little bit disappointed here that we don't have some intense fights, but look, it is a 2-lane map, and both of these teams understand the opportunity at hand to get themselves into that Premier Div in the playoffs tomorrow night. So we're probably going to see a lot more restrained play. Oh, Tyrann goes in with a power slide. He gets stunned out by that Malfurion hammer. He's rooted. Tyrann is in a lot of trouble. Jester just putting on those auto attacks, and boom! That is some steak sandwich for you, ladies and gentlemen.
And Tyrann, he just got locked down so easily by all the stun on Wolfpack's side, and he got just burned down so quickly by the Hanzo W. I think he ate the majority of the damage from that. So that's just unfortunate for Tyrann there.
Yeah, I think you're right. So Hanzo sitting on 6 packs so far already. I'm pretty sure 5 of those came directly from putting those into the cow's backside.
It's very likely.
We spoke about that lockdown in the early draft stage there, Cubby, and that was testament to the pressure that Wolfpack can put on.
Definitely, and we've got Wolfpack picking up that the bottom siege camp. Hopefully this can get them some early lead, can extend that lead, and hopefully they can snowball.
Yeah, so solid choice picking up that Khazra camp, and we see Samuro peeling off towards the Shaman camp very early on in the piece. Tyrann power slides out from behind his gate, gets locked down by that Malfurion root again. Tanner just trying to get that Storm Bolt off, doesn't succeed. Tyrann just walks away with almost a quarter health. Very close once again to Capital losing their meaty frontline.
Yes, that was very lucky because Tyrann was getting very low. One stun and it'll be good night.
Beefy almost getting taken out by the Shaman camp himself. That would have been a little bit devastating.
I mean, ANZ memes, we've seen it all before.
Funky Moon, showgirls, all sorts of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We love it. We love it. We love the ANZ memes, and we love the drama that it can bring. But we are looking into our first Immortal phase here, Cub. We've got Shaman Camp pushing in the top lane. Blue side, Wolfpack has also picked up their Shamans, so they're just going to be trying to peel those away downstairs with Fifi taking that out on the Samuro. We've got a fight over the Blue Immortal here. We've got the two tanks giving each other a little bit of damage. Tanner taking quite a bit there from the Jaina, and some of that poke and burst has really dropped his health right down, but that will come back as his passive kicks in.
Tanner was actually very lucky that they did have the Medivh to kind of shield him from a lot of that burst. Otherwise, I think he would have been popped.
No, that Force of Will saved him for sure. Now, we've got the halftime shows kicked in, and it looks like Wolfpack are in front. However, we got Beefy now. He's putting the pressure onto that Blue Immortal over on the right-hand side there, ladies and gents. But all of Wolfpack are gathering around in this little choke point. Medivh stacking up that Master's Touch. He's sitting on, what are we sitting on there? He's just finished it. Look at that. 3 minutes 56 in, finished his Master's Touch. So that's going to be a lot more poke coming out of the side of Wolfpack there. But unfortunately, Wolfpack are being completely blocked out here.
Capital are doing a very good job at keeping them away from the Immortal.
Are indeed. We've got a solid engage coming here. Tanner getting incredibly low there. Capital now pulling out to go and finish off that race, and they take the Immortal away with 2.5k health left on it, so it's not going to be much of a shield. Interesting little skirmishes we're seeing. We're not seeing any all-ins at the moment yet, Cub, which is... that's testament to how much these guys want to get into that playoff.
Definitely both teams, they just want to play slow. They don't want to take too many risks. They don't want to risk letting the other team get too far ahead.
And that's going to be a thing that we see continue throughout the rest of the evening, I think, Dubster. This Immortal being super early, not going to get a huge amount of value, but already taken out the front fortifications there. If Capital are smart, they'll now peel backwards and go and seek some advantage elsewhere as this Immortal comes to a crashing end. Or at least maybe try and get that well. Not going to happen.
And I think that's the thing about these early Immortals is that as long as you get the health down like a little bit, it's not going to get that much value.
The drag onto the Jaina into the root there. Sorry, Cub. Jaina goes down in a pop of ice. Tanner, in retaliation, gets popped. No more little Muradin dwarf tossing himself around there. 1-for-1 trade out. Exciting stuff.
Picking up the counter kill on the Muradin. But now, like, what can they do? We've got Sonya in the top lane trying to pick up the siege camp.
Yeah, and Sonya's pretty handy and adept at taking that out. She's taken the Shot of Fury at level 4 into the Poison Spear at level 7 there, so no extra damage to those mercs. However, has the ability there to get that extra Seismic Slam and auto attack combo damage. So it still kind of works to the same effect as the extra percentage damage against mercs. So, look, good little push coming out there. Going to have Tahaka try dodges that spear quite well there. Nice work.
Yeah, we've just got OG up in the top lane trying to clean up the siege camp. And then what's happening on bottom here?
Yeah, we scooch back down. It looks like both teams are just trying their hardest to get to 10 first. Both of them very, very even on experience. Slight lead in favour of Capital due to those towers going down. But sort of caught back up by that early kill on the side of Wolfpack. And look, experience tighter than a drum. Both teams edging their way forward towards level 9 and then soon to be level 10. We've got the second round Immortal spawning. Got a cheeky Medivh look over that Khazra camp, the Shaman camp to see whether or not they're going to start that as Wolfpack take out their own Shaman camp.
Definitely, and here's the thing though, I don't know if you noticed, but Uther just used Cleanse. That's a huge cooldown going into this Immortal phase.
Oh,
especially with the amount of lockdown. Yeah, especially with the amount of lockdown that Wolf have. So Wolfpack do have a bit of an advantage going into this Immortal phase, as long as it doesn't play out too long.
And that's the disadvantage of these extended type poke fests that we see coming around. So Capital not really making a move to put any damage onto their Immortal for some reason. We've got Beefy and OG at the top there. Tahaka still just trying to clear out the rest of that lane and gain that level 10 experience. Capital just in front in terms of XP. We see Medivh get popped. Fortunately, Master's Touch is completed, but still a big loss there. Aureus taking a lot of damage from Tanner, gets a Storm Bolt in the face, Dwarf Toss on top of him. Aureus misses that Ancient Spear, no damage coming out into the face of the Muradin there. Helium's walking away. Nice disengage there by the Wolfpack. I didn't see Hanzo get popped either. So Hanzo went down, meaning no damage to them. So Capital taking a commanding lead here with their ults coming online now. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Illusion Master coming on for Samurai, no Blade Storm. Ring of Frost for Jaina. So kind of breaking the meta a little bit there, Cub, with Ring of Frost as opposed to that Water Elemental. And Mosh Pit. So we are looking at the holy cow divine combo.
Well, I think their comp... It would like they needed more lockdown in their lineup for Capital, so I can understand the ring coming out.
Oh, Dragon's Arrow comes out and collects 3 people in the face. OG gets that drag. Cleanse comes out. D-Shield onto the Sonya. There is the Leyline seal. Do we see some follow-up coming out? No. We've got Spin to Win Sonya. There's the Twilight Dream coming out from Malfurion. Boom. That picks up the Sonya. Now it's a 4v5. We are going to have some pain coming out. The Mosh goes off, trapping the Hanzo with no follow-up coming out from Capital. Tanner is beefing the way out there of that Uther and the Jaina, keeping them well out of that fight. No follow-up there. Uther gets dragged. No, look out, Ultimo. He's going to go down. Here comes the start. Bang. Bye-bye, Uther. You're a little ghost now, buddy. Beefy trying his hardest to get away. Little Samurai, can he do it? Oh, yes, he gets away with about 1.5 HP. Cubby, well turned there by Wolfpack, getting a 3-for-zip trade. All ults on cooldown.
I think that's exactly what Wolfpack were waiting for. They were waiting for ults to finally go in. The second immortal is a little bit more stronger than the first one, so hopefully they're able to push with this and get a forward.
Well, this is going to be the top fort, probably going down here. You know, a very solid 50% shield coming out there, and I think you're absolutely right, Cub. Wolfpack were just waiting for that opportune time where Mirrodin could bully out 2 people and make it a 4v3 essentially down below that little bit, and we saw Capital fall in short order after that Sonya got popped. Oh, Turan playing very forward there too again, Cub.
I think in that last fight, like, Malfurion was just waiting for the Sonya to disappear so that he could, like, sneak in and hit the Twilight Dream.
And I'm pretty sure you'll find that if we go back and have a look at that one, we see Malfurion pop that Twilight Dream as soon as he was able to select it once they hit 10. Tanner in a little bit of trouble here. Can he Dwarf Toss out? I don't think so. He gets gone. Jaina putting out bulk damage there. Totem popping that Ice Block to save himself. There goes to Haka, but also Jaina gets blown up as well. Divine Shield comes out. Beefy now going to have to go into a full retreat mode. Uther running with his little axe and lumberjack case away. Turan peeling the rest of the members of Wolfpack away. That is a 3-for-1 trade in favor of Capital whilst taking out the Immortal. They lost their fort. Cub, solid little team fight.
Solid little team fight, which actually brought Capital back in the EXP game. If you know, like they were trailing earlier and now they're back in it. So great little skirmish for them.
Absolutely. Now, we see the majority of all of our heroics are on cooldown at the moment, so we're not going to be seeing a team fight for a couple of moments. We're going to see the PvE element coming back into this game. So Samurai would have expected him to split and maybe try and steal that Shaman camp that's still open, but no, he's just laning with the rest of the team. Haka trying to do a little bit of a cheeky recon, but he's not going to be able to get past the clones there. And we got the rest of the team. Are they going to come down for a rotation on top of Jester and LG? No. Uther? No. He's going to try a little wave of light there.
Yeah, and then we've got Wolfpack in the bottom lane, just trying to get a push on, trying to pick up some towers so they can get a little bit more XP. And I think they're about to hit 14.
Yeah, they're both teams hit 14, both in a very close experience game so far. Aureus, oh, he jukes out that Dragon's Arrow, manages, can he get away? Jukes the Q from Giza and manages to get away. Very, very lucky there for Sonya. That was a 3-man solid gank attempt. Helium also nearly goes down to that fort, so solid damage coming out. Here comes a cheeky engage from Capital in retaliation, though. They know Hanzo's in there, and they know he's alone.
They are in trouble.
But he's portaling away in the last nick of time there. No, Hanzo. Nani, he would say. Bye-bye, Mr. Shimada.
Yeah, he just got boxed in the corner there, which was unfortunate.
I've had that natural agility on cooldown, and I can tell from first-hand experience that it sucks when that happens and you think you've got your passive and you do. So, Sonya picking up that Shaman camp over on the right-hand side there. And the rest of Capital just putting some damage into their Immortal. Got commanding lead so far, 10k in front. Not seeing any damage coming off onto Capital's Immortal, as Tyran just tries to play a little bully blocker and keep the rest of that team at bay. Tanner being super aggressive on that Muradin so far.
Well, they had to try and delay until Hanzo came back. He's the majority of their damage on the Immortal, so they have to delay somehow.
And we see Capital once again putting that pressure on. In comes some damage. Aureus spinning to win. Helium almost goes down, drops that ice block. Good night, Medivh. You are fired. Furion, you may as well go back into obscurity, sir. Ring of Frost catches Jaina herself into an ice block. Hanzo putting out a lot of damage there. Giza trying to take down the cow. He does. He's chasing down on the totems on the Jaina. Hanzo pops the Jaina. Well played there, Giza. Can he do any more before this Immortal gets taken? No. Ultimo, Uther, you're dead, son. Catch you later. Beefy, do what you can, take out that Hanzo. Now it's a 2v2 with those clones. That was an intense little bit of fighting there. Gubby, well played for both teams.
Giza definitely making the plays there, but I think Wolfpack have forgotten about the Shaman camp that's been pushing in top lane. It looks like that's getting quite a lot of value, and now we've got the Immortal that's about to come up behind it.
Oh, Samuro gets completely blown up there and locked down. That Immortal, left alone, full shield, going to be a ranged Immortal, hiding behind some minions, takes out that front gate, now it's onto the towers. And, Cubby, they haven't got all their damage here. We need a Hanzo to be picking this Immortal apart, and he's just not there. Medivh can only do so much, no resets on that Arcane Rift, so he may as well be poking with a wet rag.
Well, they've got Hanzo back now. Hopefully they can burn this Immortal down quick before it takes too much of this keep. Because, I mean, losing a keep this early would be unfortunate for Wolfpack.
Oh, it would be devastating. Oh, Dahaka picked up in the bottom lane by a 4-man rotation there. Sorry, ladies and gents, I was too focused on watching whether or not that Immortal was going to get any damage into that keep and missed all the action. Kazrakamp picked up down the bottom lane there by Capital, now rotating as a very tight 4-man group. Going to be clearing this out, and no doubt looking to contest this Shaman camp.
And both teams still 17-17, and they move in to try and steal Wolfpack's Caster camp on the left-hand side. Bruiser camp on the left-hand side, sorry.
Yeah, they're going to be taking away these Shamans. There's no way that we're going to see Malfurion and a Muradin by themselves contesting that against a 5-man unit. And look, we've got the double camp coming down. Now, this is a very tempo storm move to try and pull, getting into double camps and applying pressure to each wall. So I like what Capital are doing here. What's Wolfpack's answer going to be?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Do they? The levels are currently the same. Now it's 18-17 though. However, they have to shut them down somehow.
Oh, Dragon Barrow comes out into ETC space, into the Licky Tongue, into the Unstoppable D-Shield. Holy cow, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we wanted to see. We get Malfurion down, Medivh down. There's no more heals, there's no more shields. That's a Ring of Frost coming into the Dahaka. He is going to get hacked and slashed away. This is a 3-0 trade so far. This is going to be a keep, Cubby.
Definitely. And this is going to be Tagiza as well.
Hanzo, can you get him? No! Hanzo's going to creep away, slowed forever. Oh, this is going to be core. This is core. This is game.
They're going for it.
Going over to Capital. Well played.
Not game one. The only game of the series.
Yep, only game of this series anyway. And solid effort there by Capital. Solid effort there by Wolfpack as well, though, Cub. I was very impressed at the closeness of both of these teams and the rotations that they displayed. Lots of little ANZ Open Division things that we could iron out with teams moving into the Premier League. But a couple of things out of position here, a couple of rotations a little too slow there, but both very solid up and coming teams. That was a great way to kick off our Open Div Phase 2, ladies and gentlemen. Cubby, what did you think?
I didn't expect to have such a close game, the first one that we casted, but I'm really glad that we did because it just showed off just how strong that these teams that we have in the Open Division are.
Absolutely right. The Premier Div is constructed of people that started in Open Div, right? People don't just walk in and go, yep, I'm a Premier Div player. They may have done a few years ago, but everyone's come through the ranks. And for the scene to be growing in the ANZ region the way that it is, and for the teams to be putting on a very cool display that we just got to witness there. I'm impressed. They're thinking bigger than just themselves and thinking bigger than just playing some games, which is
I thought it was really impressive by Capital that they realized at the end of that game that they had that Wolfpack had the 4 in the top lane trying to defend, and then obviously they have Dahaka with the global, so he could be in another lane picking up EXP. So it was good to see that awareness of them to kind of close down in the other lane and hunt down the Dahaka, because that's what led to kind of them being 5v4 and able to close that game out.
Oh, absolutely. That Dahaka kill down in the bot lane while I was too focused on the keep up top. That was the dead set turning point. So really good pick up there, Cub. If that 4-man rotation hadn't have occurred and they didn't get that double Merc camp push at the same time, if they did this, if they didn't do that, well, it would be a different game result. But the fact is that Capital executed it, and they executed it really, really well. So I think they've been watching a lot of those HGC games and picking up on some really key meta strategies. So very impressive stuff.
Definitely. Great uses of the Divine Shield to keep ETC alive. I like the cleanses.
Except for that first one where it went off probably 2 minutes before the main fight
A little
started.
bit too early, but it's fine.
But hey, open div. All right, ladies and gents, Cubby, we are going to kick to a short 5-minute break while we wait for the rest of the games to finish up, and we will be right back, and then we'll let you know who we're streaming up next. Stick around, ladies and gents. We've got more open div in store.